Hey, this is Ruben Roman, yup, Big Demonio Cycle Tribe Chronicles. And this week we're in Durango, Colorado, and we were talking to Curt James, who happens to be one of the baddest ass pinstripers around. And the guy plays blues. Stay tuned.
His feet, honey, you know it's why he's done and gone. Your dog needs feet, you know it's why he's done and gone. You had the right stuff to give him, be by your side right now at home. But that's what you've been feeding, honey. Gave you puppy town now for growth. Maybe that's what you've been feeding. You gave him puppy town now for growth. You had the right stuff to give him. He'd be by your side right now at home. For your dog ball, honey, you throw it way too far. You like to throw your dog the ball, but you throw it way too far. If you could throw the ball as far as you'd want it, he'd have to take your keys and drive your car.
Hey everybody, Ruben Roman, yup, Demonio, and we're back, Cycle Tribe Chronicles. We're here in Bayfield, Colorado with Curt James, one of the premier pinstripers in the game, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. It's actually Durango.
Oh, Durango, there it is.
We're not quite to Bayfield, but it's just right over there.
All right, so Bayfield, never mind, turn your back. So anyway, so how'd you get started, brother?
Well, there is a story to that. You know my buddy Slade at Durango Harley, Slade Boyer. Went over to his house about
almost 11 years ago, and he was messing with the pinstripe brush, and he goes, "Here, Kirk, try this, mess with this." So he had a Kafka pinstripe brush, and he's messing with it. He hands it to me, and I do a couple things, and he's like, "Freaking man, I've been working at this for 3 hours, and you come in here with your bad self." And I was just like, I'd always wanted to try it, I never had. And he's like, "Well, here, take the brush and the paint, and just go on." So I got the bug right then and there, and it's been right in the blood, you know, because I'd had other biker buddies say, "Hey, how come you don't pinstripe? Why don't you do this?" I was like, "Well, I never tried." But I've been a professional artist since I was 16.
Nice.
Doing logos and lettering and illustrations and stuff. So it was a good fit because I was already a motorcycle and car enthusiast. Ride and mess with cars and stuff. So it's like perfect fit.
Nice. Do you remember the first bike you did?
I do. And man, I was nervous. And I did it at the Durango Harley swap meet.
Oh.
And this guy had come by and he goes, "I've been watching you pinstripe. I want you to do my bike." I was like, "Oh, okay." Right on. You know?
For reals, for reals?
And I was like, I didn't know the guy, so I knew he was serious. He wasn't joking with me, you know. So I get the paint all mixed up and I'm ready to go. And some random guy walks up and he goes, "I bet you have to have a real steady hand to do that." You know? And right then I was kind of shaking. Man, that doesn't help at all. Thanks. And then once the brush hit the fender, it was all straight, but it wasn't one of my better designs.
Since then, approximately how many bikes do you think you've done?
Probably just in the couple hundred.
Oh,
So, you know.
He does a great job too.
Oh man, absolutely. Like I said, I've been a fan of this for a while. The stuff is amazing, and like I said, we're already making arrangements for me to get my road key done. So this is just saying, like,
true?
let's promote Kurt.
It's true,
That's
yeah.
all.
I wish we could fast forward and go, "Look, here's the bike," but it's not here.
Yeah, so we're in the process of making it. So like I said, my fandom is real. So what do you guys think?
Oh, I was gonna say we're here in a minute. We're gonna go around and look at all the stuff that he did.
Oh yeah, you guys can be really impressed. His stuff is
awesome.
amazing. And you know, later on in the show, we'll put his website, his contact number, in case you guys want to get some stuff done. But I highly recommend this guy.
But like this stuff in here, it's hand pinstriped with some variegated gold leaf on these two pieces here. All done by hand, so there's no stencils, and it is bristle brush and traditional pinstriping, and same application of gold leaf that they've used for centuries. I'm picking up a little bit late because I'm not quite that old, but then some hand lettering in through here, self-promotion stuff, and
I don't know if you can see it, but Ruben loves that gold flake.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
my toolbox that I lug around to different jobs and stuff where there's paint specifically put on there, but the others paint spilled just because that's how it goes, you know. Did various different projects in here. This was painted on the side of a tow truck, and this was just for fun. Some gold leaf and lettering in there. And we're actually in Guitar Gulch, because that's what a buddy of mine called it. And then I flamed this guitar like the night before my band opened up for Los Lonely Boys up at the college. It's been back in 2011, so it's been a few years. But that was kind of fun to pinstripe it and then let everyone see it for the first time up at the concert hall, you know.
Man, it's nice.
So let's talk about motorcycles.
Okay.
What was your first bike? How long ago did you get it?
Well, first bike, when I was a kid, my uncle rode dirt bikes and stuff. I grew up in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And my parents never let my brother and I have bikes because we're right there in the city. And so we rode around on my uncle's bikes and stuff. But my first bike was a '74 Yamaha TY250, which is a trials bike, 2-stroke. And that was early 90s. And so I had various dirt bikes, and now I ride a 98 Road King Classic.
So did you do like on those trial videos where they have the bike and they're like hopping them on posts and flipping them around and all that?
Yeah, only in the cartoon world. But it was a fun bike. And,
Do you remember your first street bike?
it's this Harley.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You've had it for a while?
with 18 years.
Nice,
Oh, wow.
And it's got over 100,000 miles on
Oh,
it.
shoot.
So.
That means you really love it.
Yeah, because I didn't want to buy a bike that I didn't want to ride, so
Right?
I've ridden it.
Nice.
You know, something I got to point out before the cameras were on when we first got here. I was checking out his pinstriping stuff. I saw his bike parked in the corner. I instantly went over there to go see the premier pinstriping guy, what his bike looks like. You want to let him know?
It's got factory pinstripe.
Nothing
else.
That's awesome. Yeah, he was telling me because like it would probably be constantly changing it.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was cool.
I should probably pinstripe it and take it to an event, then wipe it off.
Non-permanent.
Yeah.
So since you've been doing it for a while, has there ever been a time where like you got a request that maybe you knew wasn't going to be a good idea, or because we talked to a bunch of different bike builders, and they said there's always that one customer you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, usually I try to let them know diplomatically, it's like, that's not a good color choice for this bike or helmet or car. And to say, no, that's really what I want. And I'm like, if it's really horrible enough, I'll say, then I'm not the artist to do this.
Is it all right to turn someone down?
I have, yeah.
You have?
Yeah. And, it's not the greatest thing to have to do, but it's happened,
Well, being an artist, man, you don't want like just anything. Like you want to make sure your stuff looks good. You don't want to put garbage out there. So if he turned you down, it's because you look like crap. Just remember that.
So yeah, you suck. So you said when you did your first bike, after that, did you know? Okay, I'm a pinstriper now. I'm gonna start really going after bikes, or was it still a little process like you were kind of iffy, or?
Well, that first bike came within the first month of me pinstriping.
Wow.
So maybe that was too soon. I don't know. Some say it's too soon, but and the bike was for sale, so it's out there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, he's definitely got the knack. Like you said, we're gonna be showing his artwork really soon. But man, didn't you guys want to know?
Yeah. What? Okay. So
What is your best art, like your best striking?
What's the best one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have that in your mind as far as like, was there ever a piece was like, oh, I wish I would have kept that one, or I wish that was mine?
Well, yeah. I guess there are. I just did some helmets for Four Corners
Oh,
Motorcycle.
Yeah, we
those
got
are
those on
hot,
another
yeah.
episode too.
Okay,
Yeah.
and there was, in fact, when I did those for Trevor and John, they said, do you have a favorite out of a couple of these? And I said, yeah, these two right here. Oh, wow, you didn't even think about that. I was like, yeah. There was, they're full-face Built-Well helmets, and one was ivory with those black panels.
Yeah.
And I did that as the first place for the Hooligan Dirt Dash. And I was trying to get a hold of one of those helmets. They can't even find them online.
What?
Wow.
They were specially made or something?
I think everyone wants them and they're gone.
Dang.
So, but I was able to do some really cool subtlety lines, like I was telling you on your bike, and on the black that mimic the ivory, so it looks like there's actually more lines to it than there really is. And that was kind of a current event because that was just back in August. Right, I did them right before the Labor Day event.
If we don't have pictures, we got to put a picture, because I know you on your website and Facebook, you got
Oh yeah, those are sick.
pictures.
Those
You
are
can
awesome.
put those up there. So.
Yeah, I thought he did a whole new line of stuff, and he was gonna start selling those. They look hot.
I know, right?
Yeah, they look good.
So anyways, we're back, man. Back with the Curt James, pinstriper, motorcycle rider, and get this. The guy is an amazing blues guitar player. For you, those that you don't know, why don't you give them where they can see you at? I mean, website address, Facebook.
If you go to curtjames.com, that has buttons to go to pinstriping, music, and graphics that I do. And then it also has various buttons on Instagram to check me out, Curt James Blues there, and some Reverb Nation that has some video on YouTube. There's a YouTube channel, so there's plenty of things on Curt James.
So how long have you been playing guitar, brother?
You know, I was talking to my brother about it the other day, and I think it's been 40 years.
What?
So,
You're not that old.
I know. This is just paint.
So
Paint
he probably knows a couple of chords by now.
Yeah, and I don't know the name of most of them.
So when you first started up, I mean, because I know like you got your band, but what was like? Do you remember like your first band or how you kind of got into it, or?
Yeah.
Like when did you get your first guitar?
That was what. Well, my dad always had guitars laying around the house because he was. Both my parents are musicians, and so there was always guitars laying around the house. But at one Christmas, I think it was in Christmas '78, where me and a bunch of buddies got electric guitars. Like every kid on the block got electric guitars, and you know, we got, you know, they were junk, but they were cool, you know, because they were ours, you know. But it was a Les Paul copy, and it was just it was junk. But
that's why those two would have really ridiculously high action and all.
What are you playing? What are you playing now?
mostly I play Stratocasters.
Oh, nice.
I still have the first Stratocaster I bought in '81, and it's been my main guitar up until maybe about 10 years ago.
That's the blues guitar.
It's that white rosewood with rosewood fingerboard and everything. So it was a 1980 model.
Wow.
And then occasionally I play my ES335, which is a Gibson.
And what are you playing out of it?
A lot of the times I play through Fender amps, but just recently, Mike Crocelli in Durango has been building some custom tube amps. I've got one of his Chili amps right here that we're working on the prototype, so the Bluzman amp isn't done yet, but it's in the works, and I've played it a number of times this summer, and we're getting that dialed in. So
really warm sound?
And it's cool, yeah.
Tube sound.
It's a tube-driven 112 cabinet, and it's got some cool things going on. A little bit different than my Fender, which is good because why custom build the same thing?
Yeah.
Everybody got that.
Exactly like my amp. So I know you play, and you're always playing. Can you let them know like some of the acts you performed with?
I've opened a number of blues concerts for anyone from Gatemouth Brown, John Hammond, Al Dimiola, Eric Johnson.
El Demonio.
Yeah, that's awesome. And who's that?
Sorry. Got just a whole long list. There's a list on the webpage. I did a show with
I remember Los Lonely Boys.
Arlo Guthrie and Los Lonely Boys.
Arlo Guthrie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
bad. As far as your music, where can people find it at?
Mainly through CD Baby and some downloads for my acoustic stuff. CurtJames.com has some of those links to different places in there.
And from the website, can they book you from the website as well?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Phone number, email, Facebook links and all that.
Oh, nice.
I got one for you. So our show's about riding, and everybody's got a story. We want to know, do you have a story? It could be good, could be bad, could be something fun that happened to you.
If you want to reveal a secret to everybody. Yeah, like I said, basically the premise of the show is every biker has a story, so here's Curt James' story.
So in the, I think it was '99, Tony Milan here in Durango was putting together the Scoop Blues Lounge and Cafe. And I was helping him with putting together some of the music and some of the graphics for the cafe and everything. And he goes, Kirk, I'd like you to ride one of the bikes I'm going to put up and display in the cafe. Because he had, I think at one point, 7 or 8, maybe 9 different Harleys and Indian motorcycles up on rails above the bar in different areas and stuff. It was a cool scene in Durango. And so I went by his house and he goes, I want you to ride my Indian motorcycle. I said, well, that's cool. I've never ridden a foot clutch before, tank shift. And it was a 36 Indian Chief, if I recall right. And it had been restored by Jeff Grigsby here in Bayfield with Indian Motor Works. Pristine, beautiful restoration, wonderful bike. And get it all started, kickstart, rigid frame. And Tony knew I'd never ridden a tank shift foot clutch before, and he goes, oh, one thing. He shows me everything. He goes, oh, one thing. Just make sure not to dump it, because I'm going to put it in the cafe next week. So it wasn't enough pressure of riding a 1936 Indian Chief, and I hadn't thought about dumping it. And he goes, well, don't dump it, just if you don't mind, you know. So rode it for a little bit, and everything was fine. I didn't dump it, but it was just a beautiful bike.
Yeah, no pressure.
He had it converted so that the throttle was on the right and the ignition advance was on the left. Whereas standardization at that time for Indian, the throttle was on the left, advance was on the right. So he had that done just so it's a little bit more instinctive for him. Hardcore Indian riders, even nowadays, are doing throttle on the left just because that's how they roll, which is cool. But that was the only tank shift I've ridden. So,
that's
but
cool.
It was fun.
Very
nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
So this is a traditional pinstripe brush right here. Usually handmade, hand-wrapped furls instead of a metal furl, which is, I don't even have a metal furl right here, but there's some more pinstripe brushes in this box. They've been making them like this with Andrew Mack Brush Company since late 1880s, 1890s. And they call this one a sword style brush. Flat at the top, it's got a belly below, looks like something like that. There's some more brushes in here, a whole bunch of them. Some lettering brushes, outliners, quills, flats, some pinstripe brushes, scrolling brushes, some long line brushes. There's a bunch of stuff in there. I'm not doing anything that hadn't been done before, except maybe that. Who does that?
Lick the brush? Is that for good luck?
You just have to make sure you do it before you put paint in there. That's all there is to it. This next step is once I get some paint onto the brush to load it, I'm palleting the paint into the brush to get it in there real nice and level, so I can pull a nice line. And I'll do a little test just to see what it does here. It's a pretty good start. Now you can be shaky all you want until you put the brush down, and then it's go time, so you got to make sure that you're not going to be shaky at that point. Like pretty much anything else, right?
Most
everything, right? There's plenty of other things that don't go that way, but I do think over the years I've probably wiped off more paint than I've let dry. So it's really a small investment of my time to buy more paint. It's probably not that big of a deal, but it's a way things can be done. You know.
I have a question for you, Kurt.
Okay.
After you do pinstriping, like on the bike or whatever, when I see you at events, do they have to put clear over it?
No. It can be done if you're in a situation where you can take the bike apart and have it cleared at a shop in a spray booth.
But you don't need it.
It's not necessary. Yeah, I don't think I want to know now. So let's see. Let's see if you can zoom in for this.
All right.
See if I can put my signature on here. See if I can do it with this brush. Is that gonna get in there?
Good.
Okay. Then to show you how relative size or what it's worth.
Here's the dime. That's amazing.
That is badass.